I have a breaking news update. Matt Gaetz has been nominated as Attorney General. I cannot begin to explain to you how much worse can get. Imagine the worst possible outcome. Now imagine it being infinitely worse. Matt Gaetz has been nominated as Attorney General. It's my great honor to announce that Congressman Matt Gaetz of Florida is hereby nominated to be the Attorney General of the United States. Oh my God, the never-kevers have risen up and they are taking over the goddamn government. Holy fuck. They are abolishing age of consent, dude. This man has active investigations into his pedophilia. What the fuck? Can we go back a few saves? No, we need a reset, dude. Oh my Lord, dude. Holy fuck. Oh, if the Senate confirms him, witness tells House Ethics Committee that Matt Gaetz paid her for sex. Several women who were witnesses of the DOJ probe that have been interviewed. The House Ethics Committee probed Matt Gaetz for alleged sexual misconduct. And now Donald Trump wants to make him the Attorney General. Now, if you know anything about the Republican Party, a guy with active pedophilia allegations and sex trafficking allegations on him is a perfect person to put into a position of power. I am reminded of Dennis Hastert, the longest running Speaker of the House. Dennis Hastert is a Republican, was a Republican, and was the longest running record-breaking Speaker of the House. He broke another record, the most prolific pedophile. There was suspicion that a lot of people knew that he was a pedophile at the time, but because of his active pedophilia, his serial pedophilia, it made him controllable. So I suspect not only is Matt Gaetz a die-hard pro-Trump guy, but he also has, blackmail on himself, which Trump can use if given the opportunity. This is incredible stuff. Yeah, it's leverage. This is called leverage, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it is. Holy f***. This country is in the pooper, okay? This country is in the dumps. We are so cooked. This is a malicious man. This is a vindictive man. This is a man who unironically learned the worst lessons he possibly could have from the last administration. The last time he wanted to do like January 6th and numerous other things, there were people in his cabinet that actively fought against him, or at the very least were open to criticizing him or maybe even stopping him, and he was like, all right, well, I'm going to make sure that never happens again. It's over. He basically is filling his cabinet with loyalists. People have stood by him, people that will fight tooth and nail for whatever his wishes are, no matter how insane or unhinged. And this is precisely the reason why I lose my mind when I see photos like this. When I see like this, I'm like, you're so fake. You're so phony. You are so god phony, dude. You said he was a fascist, which he is, and now you're just friendly with the fascists? Like, what message are you giving to the American public? And I know what message they're giving to the American public. The message is, guys, we have a much greater enemy, okay? And that is trans people. That is socialism. That is communism.
Just your reaction to this. I mean, this news just broke. It's out on Trump's Truth Social. Is the Hill abuzz with the news? Is your phone blowing up over this? Give us a sense of what's going on.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, this is what the American people voted for, right? I mean,
oh my God, they're literally like, oh no, we're punishing the voters. They're punishing the voters.
In Matt Gaetz, he's not only going to get someone who's fiercely loyal, but fiercely competent. Matt Gaetz knows exactly what to do with the Attorney General's office. He will turn that into be most powerful Attorney General in American history. I know Matt well. We served together in the legislature in Florida. In fact, Matt was the one who was part of the transition team of Ron DeSantis.
What are you saying? He's a demon, dog.
Director of Emergency Management in the state of Florida. And so, Trump was very clear on what he wanted to do with government. And in Matt Gaetz, he is going to get a very competent, very powerful Attorney General.
So what do you think he is going to do as AG, if confirmed?
Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously he's got a boss in Donald Trump, but anyone thinking that Donald Trump was just ready to move forward, that is clearly not the case. And so, at the end of the day, this is what happens. Elections have consequences. We talked about this during the election, but at the end of the day, Matt was a former prosecutor, former attorney in private practice. He is a fierce Donald Trump loyalist. Matt has prosecuted the case in Congress for Donald Trump for years. And now he's going to get to do that on behalf of the American people if it gets confirmed.
What are these guys saying? Like, what is the Democratic response to this?
Right,
Everything that they've said this past week makes me feel like they are receptive to the Trump fascist takeover. I feel like they're more predisposed with on trans people and woke more than they are of like the upcoming second Trump agenda, the upcoming second Trump regime. That is nuts, dude. Yeah, look at this. I agree. Thanks for tuning in, Hassan the Hun. Don't forget to subscribe. We're already on to you, though. Child predators use Twitch to systematically track kids. Congressman Matt Gaetz joins Twitch. This motherfucker is now the attorney general, potentially, if appointed. What the hell is going on? I'm a little confused as to like, this is what I was also trying to bring up in terms of like resistance media is not going to be the same as it was before. I don't think resistance media is going to do resistance media like they did in 2016. This is the other aspect of this. Not only do I feel like they are gearing up for a ratings bump, which will come, but not in the degree that they think it will, right? Due to how the media landscape operates now. There's way too many independent voices out there. There's way too much diversity of information out there for them to, you know, dominate the space. But beyond that, I think resistance libs are gearing up their primary base, like the news watchers, into submission. How likely do you think it's going to be to pass the Senate? I have no belief whatsoever that these GOP senators are going to do the right thing. Okay? If you feel like these god vultures are ever going to do the right thing and be like, we're striking this down, I'm telling you right now, you're wrong. Everyone's saying, oh, but the confirmations, remember that recess appointments are a thing. If the Senate plus House is convinced to go on break for 10 plus days, Trump can appoint everyone in one day. He can slam through everyone instantly and they don't need a confirmation hearing. It's so bad. Yes. And who's going to stop them? The Supreme Court? What do you think? Yeah. If you're thinking that these monstrous pieces of shit are going to be your salvation, you're wrong. Okay. And it feels like even the Democrats are not there to fight against this. And it feels like the media is not there to even talk about how devastating this is. Oh my God. I wonder what America's going to look like in 4 years. Canadian neighbor here. Dude, in the last week, I have heard so many unhinged things. In the last week, I've heard so many unhinged things from the Republican side, gearing up to possibly bomb Mexico, fighting the cartels, like just incredible escalations. The entire cabinet is chock full of the most rabid war hawks, which was of course expected, as I told you over and over and over again. They are going to pick apart what remains of the carcass of the American government and turn it into the anarcho-capitalist dystopia that they always wanted it to be. Fascism is upon us. There's no age that you can't be sexy. I say we change Florida's welcome signs to this. A sign of how easily some Senate Republicans might cave on Gaetz. Mullen has previously accused Gaetz of sleeping with an underage girl, showing off videos of girls he slept with on the floor, and bragging about taking ED meds to go all night. Yeah, Mark Wayne Mullen said, you got to think about this guy. This guy that the media didn't give the time of day to after he was accused of sleeping with an underage girl. And there was a reason why no one in the conference came and defended him, because we had all seen the videos he was showing on the House floor that all of us had walked away of the girls he had slept with. He bragged about how he'd crush ED medicine and chase it with energy drinks so he could go all night. This is obviously before he got married. And so when that accusation came out, no one defended him. And then no one in the media would give him the time of day. All of a sudden, he found fame because he opposed the Speaker of the House back in November. And he's always stayed there. And he was never going to leave until he got his last moment of fame by going after a motion to vacate. That was Mark Wayne Mullen on Matt Gaetz not that long ago. Here's Mark Wayne Mullen now, as we watched in real time, when asked by Jake Tapper, are you going to vote for Matt Gaetz? Mark Wayne Mullen, I completely trust President Trump's decision-making on this one. Now, Jake Tapper is a journalist, or is supposed to be a journalist. And what's really interesting about this situation is that if I remember Mark Wayne Mullen saying stuff like that, why the does Jake Tapper not remember that? He has a ton of producers, does he not? Why can't you hit Markwayne Mullin with that quote and be like, hey, remember when you said this about the guy who you're saying you're going to confirm? Like, why? Why can't you do your job? This is like bare minimum shit. Like, I'm not asking people to go above and beyond. I'm simply asking these guys that are currently facing down a crisis in journalism to do journalism, to restore some semblance of faith that the American population will place upon you, because it is needed. It is needed. That's what's so frustrating about this, is that, like, while I am unimaginably critical of mainstream media, I also still recognize the necessity of mainstream media. But it seems like a lot of these people in positions of power do not give a shit. They don't care. They have their heads stuck in the goddamn sand.
So they're saying there is a 17-year-old girl, 17-year-old woman who
This interview was really funny because he was like, well, Tucker, I hung out with you and her. And he was like, whoa, 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 don't involve me in this. One other thing that I have seen so far from the House saga is that Mr. Matt Gaetz, devil's advocate, pedophile, allegedly himself, it seems did something very unique. Scoop from Punchbowl News. Representative Matt Gaetz resigned from Congress just 2 weeks before House Ethics Committee was set to vote on releasing a highly damaging report outlining its investigation into Gaetz. Sources have told John Bresnahan, co-founder of Punchbowl News, and Jake Sherman, also a founder of Punchbowl News. 2 days, not 2 weeks, sorry. 2 days before Representative Matt Gaetz' resignation from Congress came 2 days before the House Ethics Committee was set to vote on releasing a highly damaging report outlining its investigation into the Republican, according to multiple sources familiar with the probe. The committee planned to vote Friday on releasing the report. Ethics loses its jurisdiction over Gaetz when he leaves Congress. The secretive panel has been investigating Gaetz on and off since 2021. President-elect Donald Trump announced that he would nominate Gaetz to be Attorney General Wednesday. So how much of the nomination was just Gaetz needing a lifeline ASAP and Trump giving it to him in exchange for complete loyalty? All of it. What do you think, he has like bones and being an attorney general? Come on. He was a lawyer like what, 20 years ago? Get out of here. Barely. It's leverage. This is, Republican Party politics. Yeah, he resigned effective immediately. Interesting timing on this resignation, folks. Nope, Gaetz wasn't even a real lawyer. He'd never actually practiced law. He literally went into politics straight out of law school. Oh, sorry, he wasn't even a lawyer. I was wrong. I thought he at least went to law school and practiced law for a little bit. My bad. Can't the ethics committee just release their report for his future employers? I mean, it causes the inquiry to be dropped, but what if you were to accidentally drop the inquiry in, I don't know, the email inbox of a hungry reporter? That's, accidents happen, guys. In this line of work, sometimes you go to the ones you know. Sometimes you go to the Kevers. Forever Kevers rise up, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin McCarthy, do the right thing. Do the right thing. The public must know. The precedent is Ethics Committee doesn't release reports since Gaetz is no longer going to be under House jurisdiction. I see very little chance Republicans agree to this. Ethics Chair Representative Michael Guest and Gaetz loathe each other, but Johnson wouldn't like it all and sets new precedents. The committee can still release the report on Gaetz if the majority of the committee agrees to it, so just one Republican needed for it to be made public. I am salivating.